Coming up on show 599, Porsche adds more jobs for the Taycan, Tesla buys an AI startup, and a BMW exec on charging. Those stories and many more coming up on the show for Thursday, 3rd of October. My name is Martyn Lee, going through every EV story that I can find to try and save you time. Well, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you're listening around the world. Thank you for bearing with me this week. These are the notes that I made on Thursday, recording the show slightly later than normal. If you're wondering where I've been in North Wales. And the World Rally Championship is going to go hybrid power in the next couple of years or so. So I've been researching that. Plus, I'm a big motorsport fan, a big fan of driving electric cars Monday to Friday. And if at the weekend we need to make some noise and burn a few things, at the moment, I don't see anything wrong with that, but I appreciate that maybe ideologically somebody would disagree with me on that and say that everything should be electric power all of the time. But we're kind of in a halfway phase at the moment, so not only do I love watching and enjoying motorsport, but I've been at the World Rally Championship, which is in North Wales, and those that listen regularly know I listen on the south coast of the UK, and I was working at it as well, so I had to put a lot of gear in a transit van, so that was about 8 hours driving up and then 8 hours driving back in a van. Oh, if only there was some sort of electric van that I could have taken. It would have made the whole journey so much nicer than doing it on dirty diesel. Right, well, let's crack on with... thank you very much as well to myev.com for helping me make this show for over a year now, since they've been building out their platform, their website, where you can buy and sell and learn about EVs all along the way. If you want to buy and sell used EVs that have a plug, it's all about myev.com. In the USA only for now, at myev.com. Check it out if you haven't already. Well, Porsche just announced that the original production capacity of the Taycan, which was originally 20,000 units, if you remember, is going to be increased in what they say is a response to the great worldwide demand. Now, according to InsideEVs, taking into consideration 500 new jobs for the Taycan, that's on top of the 1,500 jobs previously announced. The increase might be 25 to 30,000 cars. Now, is it just me? I looked back through my notes. Didn't they already announce they were looking at 40,000 Taycan a year and doubling the production from the initial run rate? Maybe I'm making that up. The old brain starts to fade with age. Anyway, this is fantastic that the Taycan's had an additive effect to the EV market, and the kind of people who would have bought maybe a Panamera or a piston car are looking at the Taycan. And rather than cannibalizing the EV market, I think the Taycan's really added to what there is on offer from EV cars. Now, from Porsche themselves, they say that the Taycan's original capacity was 20,000 units a year. That continues to be the requirement for the first year of production by increasing the workforce by the end of the second quarter of 2020, so the end of June next year. Porsche, they say, is providing themselves with the necessary flexibility to be able to produce more units if necessary. So this isn't a nailed-on, guaranteed, we've been overrun with orders kind of thing. It just says that if they need to, they can. Porsche building out another 500 new jobs. The company is increasing production where they make the Taycan, somewhere called Zuffenhausen. This is Porsche's response to a worldwide demand for the electric sports car, which celebrated its world premiere back at the beginning of September. And while the Taycan, with that, they're showing that Porsche say, e-mobility is by no means a job killer. Rather, we're underlining its future viability, they say, especially in the sports car segment. In addition, more than 32,000 applications for those 500 jobs show how great the interest is in shaping the future of the sports car segment with us, say Porsche. And that's an interesting thing to put out there, the job creation aspect of EVs. Now, don't get me wrong, it's good news for the likes of you and I, but that is very much a coded message to the German auto industry, which they pride themselves on, which is partly state-owned, which has very, very powerful unions. If you think any kind of union that you've seen and been involved with had a degree of power, you ain't seen nothing yet to the German union industry, the auto industry, German unions. So this is very much about a pacifying, I think, of some opinions that might be out there, but still great news nonetheless. Hey, Tesla's done a big acquisition. Well, kind of, I think what they call an acqui-hire, because the company they've acquired, all of the people, are now working for Tesla. So they wanted the people, they wanted the skills, they wanted the knowledge, and they bought the company. The company's called DeepScale. I'm not sure whether the acquisition is fully signed, sealed, delivered, but certainly let me give you the story. It's a computer vision startup. We're talking AI here, and it could develop fully driverless vehicles, according to CNBC. The deal could help Tesla's goal of delivering cars with advanced driver assistance systems good enough for the cars to be robo-taxis, and an Uber-like platform, but take the driver out of the front seat. However, Tesla is limited by the computational resources that they have to build their cars, and many would say that they're the best in the industry already. Laura Kolodny for CNBC says DeepScale's technology was designed to help automakers use low-wattage processors, which are standard in most cars, to power accurate computer vision. The processors work with sensors, mapping, planning and control systems to allow the cars to make sense of what's going on around them. So what their technology does is they've been working with other car makers on using their sensors, as in the other car makers' sensors, the other car makers' mapping, the other car makers' planning, and their control systems, and you add in the DeepScale technology to allow cars to make sense of what's going on around them. This seems to me very much like a company that was working with other car makers with the technology they've got, but to make them better. And now Tesla have acquired this company. DeepScale's CEO, Forrest Iandola, joined Tesla as a senior staff machine learning scientist, according to his LinkedIn page. He's already started working at Tesla. You know, they've got form with this. Remember when they acquired Grohmann? Tesla Grohmann Engineering. Grohmann is a German company, a German family company that for many, many years worked with a range of other automakers to make what they were doing just a little bit better. It was all about optimization and efficiency. Now I'm sounding like this is a Silicon Valley podcast, but that's what Silicon Valley's all about, right? Optimization, about efficiency. And that's exactly why they bought Grohmann. Sacked off the contracts with the other car makers, as you would, and now they simply spend all of their time working out how to make Tesla's factories be better factories, how the robots can be better robots. And you wonder how they've built a Chinese gigafactory in such a short amount of time. Yes, because Tesla aren't just obsessed with the technology and making the cars, but also the machines that make the cars. And maybe they went a little bit too far in the beginning, talking about all the different robots that were going to be kind of fully autonomous in the factories, and then Elon wheeled that back a little bit and walked it back and said, you know, humans are underrated, but they've done the same thing again. Watch this space. Hey, Polestar is a company that I rate very highly, and I've never even driven one of their cars. The Polestar 2 is the all-electric follow-up to the Polestar 1, funnily enough, and they've got the pricing here for the UK, £49,900 when it's launched next year. So £100 short of £50,000. Now, that is £3,000 more than Tesla's Model 3 long range. It's £2,000 less than the Model 3 Performance, according to Top Gear. Now, Top Gear say that their hopes are high for the Polestar 2, the first electric car from Polestar. Not all about the numbers, of course, but many people will do, and many people will want to compare the two. It's human nature, isn't it, really? The claims for the Polestar: 311 miles range, 78 kilowatt hour battery, 0 to 60 less than 5 seconds is what they're saying. Compare that to the long range Model 3, which is the cheaper version. Polestar 311 miles, Model 3 348 miles, and Polestar's less than 5 seconds chimes with the long range Model 3's 4.4 seconds, all around the same ballpark, but some of that legendary Tesla efficiency coming into play. Moving on to BMW. As automakers continue to tout their collective transition to EVs, not much is happening at the moment. We're waiting till 2020, really. Most have missed deadlines, and that's not too much to boast about. But BMW are talking about the BMW iX3. They have had a great run with the BMW i3, but again, they're not exactly flush with models on sale right now. BMW's Director of Global Research Corporation, Stephen Neugemeyer, Be a German name, won't it? So NEU would be new, and then GE Bauer, so Neugebauer, I should say, or Neugebauer, maybe. I don't know. My German's not that good. He says, no one will buy an electric car if you can't charge it near your home or work. It's as simple as that, he says. That's a quote. No one will buy an electric car if you can't charge it near your home or work. It's as simple as that. I agree with that, actually. I mean, we charge a car at home pretty much all the time, and if we're not, then we're not too far away. Rapid charging for us on a long journey is a rarity. Let me continue with Stefan's, sorry, there was an A, Stefan, not Stephen, Stefan's quote, and I quote, "This is why we must continue our partnership with the European Union, except that we no longer need to focus solely on the development of the car itself, as has been the case in recent years. We should focus on cooperation with others, like energy companies and municipalities," end quote. I think this is really interesting how BMW are talking about, okay, we need to make the cars. We know we need to make the cars, but also there's a bigger picture here. We've got to talk to energy companies. We've got to talk to local authorities, municipalities, and that fills me with so much hope. This movement is going to accelerate at such a fast speed. When somebody who was thinking of buying a piston car goes, you know what, I can buy an electric car and it means no change to my routine at all. And you and I know there is a slight change to behaviour. Behaviours that have been built up over more than 100 years of driving fossil cars. For instance, today we're going on a very long journey. Today we'll be doing about 200 miles. So last night, before we went to bed, my wife and I just said to each other, looked at each other and go, is the car on charge? Good point. Because we don't charge it every hour. We charge it about once or twice a week because the car does about 200 miles on the Renault Zoe. So we're going to need all those miles today. We don't really want to stop halfway, and we haven't got any destination charging because we can't get anywhere near my in-laws' house. Get close-ish, but we can't charge at their house. We can't drive up to their house, and they haven't got a garage or anything. So last night we just needed to remember, is the car on charge? Oh, it's not. Okay, let's bung it on. It was about 80% last night, so we just topped it up, and we're good today for the road trip. So there is a slight change, isn't there? You must admit, to owning an electric car. You do have to think slightly differently. It's not an arduous thing, but it's brilliant that BMW are talking about that as well. They recognise that. Well, staying in Germany, and Audi is going to build at least 3 EVs on the MEB platform. The parent company Volkswagen are building the ID.3 on this new platform. The 3 battery-powered models coming soon are part of a 20-car EV offensive that started with the e-tron back in 2018. And by 2025, they want all of those models on the market, according to Autoblog. While the Q4, not talking about Q4 sales here, I'm talking about the Audi Q4, is the only MEB-based Audi electric car that's so far been shown off to the public. The company confirmed at least 2 more are on the way. In Europe, the Q4 e-tron will come standard with a single rear electric motor, and of course it's Audi, famous for Quattro. What do you do with a Q4? Yes, there will be a dual motor, all-wheel drive, available at extra cost of the all-electric Q4 when that finally makes its way on the market. I would love to drive that. Amazing. Last one of the show, rather, and the 2 major ultra-fast charging networks in America. It's Electrify America in the US, in Ionity, in Europe it's Ionity. That aim for really covering both those large geographical areas with very fast chargers, and by that I mean 350 kilowatts. Both of them announced new milestones. Ionity installed its 150th CCS Combo 2 station. They got 400 planned by the end of next year, and they're almost halfway. An additional 64 are currently under construction, according to InsideEVs. Total number of Ionity chargers are going to be 2,500 chargers by the end of 2020. Like I say, with 400 of those being 350 kilowatt ones. That is about 6 per station. Electrify America also announced a big number. The charging network is 2 times bigger. They got 301 charging stations already. And at those charging stations, they have to put CCS and CHAdeMO in as well. So they've got 44 AC level 2 stalls, just over 1,000 CCS and 301 CHAdeMO stations. In progress, well, Electrify America has 159 of them in progress. And many of those, yes, will be ready for 800-volt battery systems. Wonderful news there. From the charging infrastructure side of things, both those networks are rolling out at a real pace as well, at such a click. And we need to remember that, because a lot of people make those arguments, anti-EV arguments. I come up against them, you come up against them, and people base those arguments on outdated knowledge. And unless you remind yourself of these things, even what we were talking about 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago is wildly out of date. So many chargers now across Europe, across America. Ultra-fast 350 kilowatt chargers that really are setting us up for the future. This is such good news. Hey, question of the week. I'll read out your answers on Sunday. Have you named your car? And if so, what have you named your electric car? Let me know. You can email hello@evnewsdaily.com. Leave a comment on Facebook and YouTube. There are 598 previous shows, which means tomorrow, or rather Friday's show, will be show 600. Wowzers, how did we get there? All the previous shows are online. You can get them online for free. And the new ones, if you hit subscribe, get them into your podcast app, maybe on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or Spotify Podcasts, and all of the usual apps that you get your podcasts in. And you get the podcast free. If you want to be a Patreon supporter, of course you can do that as well. And all of my Patreon supporters fund this show for the many other thousands of people who listen every single day. Thank you to those who do make it happen. If you want to say hi on the socials, search EV News Daily. Have a wonderful day. I'll catch you tomorrow. And remember, there's no such thing as a self-charging hybrid.